Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome into the ARC. This is your friend Fitz with another little tidbit that I want to share with you relative to Project U. I started a couple weeks ago introducing the whole Project U concept, yielding old understandings. And so tonight, I just kind of want to share the experience. I want to share a little story with you, talk a little bit about the experience that really birthed the whole. It was the birthing of the arc and the idea of Project U. It was several years ago. It was August 2015. I was in Orlando, Florida, at a leadership conference. John Maxwell. It was muggy in August of 2015. And I sat in this leadership conference, and I believe I was destined to be there as a year before. It seemed that the ad, I was reading online, and it was like the ad just kind of jumped off the page. And I was like, I had to be in this conference. For some strange reason, I just felt compelled to be in this conference. At that time, I was looking for purpose. I've been praying to God, and I was like, what am I here for? What is my purpose? What was I on this earth to accomplish? I'd sensed this calling to lead, but I wasn't, up until then, I was kind of still stumbling in the dark, trying to figure things out. I was hungry to fulfill it. That's what I knew. I was hungry to fulfill whatever this thing was inside of me. And there was a guy that took the stage, and one of the main speakers, one of the main teachers of the John Maxwell team, he took the stage and he started to tell his story. And I remember the words that he said, and those words burned in my heart since that day. He said, the results you currently see in your life right now are due to the choices you have made up to this point. Those words blew my mind. And it was at that moment that I was forced to take a hard look at my life and my walk with God. And at that moment, I gave up on the victim mentality. I gave up on blame games. I concluded that nothing in my life was God's fault. I couldn't say, well, it was because of God's will, or no, none of that. All things were due to my choices. My life was where it was because of my choices. And if I was going to change, what had to change? I had to change. I had to yield my old understanding. So after being tossed in life by the winds of uncertainty for so many years, I finally said enough is enough. And I took that truth, and that truth birthed something in me, and it began this process of me starting to do what I could do and what was in my power to do to change my life. And so Project U and the Arc of Freedom, all of that was born out of that watershed moment. And then the whole process that followed. It was born out of that watershed moment. Sitting in that conference, I think it was about 5,000 people in that room. And it was like he was talking directly to me. Have you ever experienced that, where you've been sitting somewhere and maybe it was a conference, maybe it was in church, and a speaker stood up and spoke, and something they said, it was as if they were talking directly to you. So if anything in your life is going to change, I'm going to say it again, you have to change. And my hope and prayer is that as you walk through with me, as you journey with me through me putting out these little videos, these little tidbits of Project U, and I put out mental morsels and content into the arc, my prayer is that as you walk through the content and as you sift through the things that I put out there, that you'll also experience your own watershed moment, and that you will have an experience similar to the one that I had, where you just say, you know what, enough's enough. I'm ready to yield my old understandings. So just a brief little tidbit for you, tell you about the story of how really Project U was birthed, how it was born. And I'm looking forward to putting more content out there on a more regular basis. I do this in between my job and my home life. And so I'm looking forward to putting out more content. And I want to welcome you to the Ark and welcome you to Project U. Peace and blessings, everyone. And I'll see you inside the Ark again. Like and share. See you guys soon. Take care.